We headed off on a hike to Loch Moidart, a hidden gem tucked away among the forest. The trail was easy to follow and well maintained, winding through peaceful woodland filled with towering trees, flowing streams and sound of the birds singing overhead. The fresh Highland air and lush green surroundings made for a relaxing and enjoyable walk. The weather was a major part of the day's experience. Persistent rain followed us for much of the day, but luckily we had come prepared with waterproof jackets and our waders. Rather than spoiling the adventure, the rain added to the atmosphere, giving the landscape a wild and authentic Highland feel. The hill were trapped in mist, the colors of the forest seemed richer, and the lochs and the stream felt even more alive. There was something special about being out in the element, embracing whatever the Scottish weather had to offer. With the rain tapping on our jackets and the fresh scent of wet earth and the pine in the air, it felt like a true outdoor adventure. When we reached Loch Moidart, we were greeted by beautiful lochs surrounded by hills and woodland. It felt wonderfully secluded, as though we had discovered a secret corner of Highlands. We spent some time fishing there, hoping to get some trout. The fishing were not particularly active, but that hardly mattered. Sitting beside the still water, watching a ripple on the surface and taking in the silence of the landscape was rewarding in itself. Sometimes fishing is less about catching fish and more about being fully present in nature, and Loch Moidart was the perfect place for that. The wet weather continued throughout much of our fishing time, but with our waders on and waterproof gear keeping us dry, we were able to enjoy every minute. In many ways, the rain enhanced the experience, creating perfect conditions for exploring and adding a sense of anticipation with every cast. Although the fish remained elusive, being out there in the rain, surrounded by such beautiful scenery, felt like an adventure in itself and reminded us that some of the best fishing memories are about the experience rather than the catch. Even without any fish to show for our efforts, the session was enjoyable. We watched the changing color of the sky, listened to the gentle movement of the water, and anticipated the peaceful atmosphere that comes with fishing at the end of the day. Moments like these remind us the fishing is not always measured by what is landed, but by the places it takes us and the memories it creates. Later in the evening, we decided to finish the day with a short sea fishing session in the nearby estuary, targeting sea trout. The setting could not have been more beautiful. The evening light reflected off the calm water, while the surrounding hills and the coastline created a spectacular backdrop. We carefully worked our way along the shoreline, casting into the likely holding areas and hoping a sea trout might be moving through on the tide. Although we did not manage to hook a fish, every cast carried a sense of anticipation. Sea trout fishing is famously unpredictable, and success often depends on being in exactly the right place at exactly the right time. We visited Castle Tioram, a beautiful ruined castle on a small tidal island in Loch Moidart on Scotland's west coast. The castle sits in a stunning location where the River Shiel meets the sea loch, surrounded by hills and water on all sides. Even though the castle is now in ruins, it is easy to imagine how grand and important it was. It belonged to the Clan MacDonald of Clanranald, and the parts of the structure date back more than 700 years. We walked around the outside of the castle, taking in the peaceful atmosphere and breathtaking views. The tide allowed us to cross the beach and get closer to the ancient walls. The combination of sea, sky, rugged stonework, and complete silence made it feel like stepping back in time. It was a place that invited you to slow down, reflect, and appreciate both the history and the beauty of surrounding landscape. Overall, it was a fantastic day, from exploring the historic ruins of Castle Tioram to hiking through beautiful woodland to Loch Moidart, and ending with an evening sea trout session in estuary. Every part of the day offered everything special. The fishing may not have been productive, but the scenery, peacefulness, and time spent outdoors made it a day to remember.